If you're still in your job right now, you might be thinking to yourself something like, okay, how am I going to make sure I keep this? And you might be thinking about laying low, just trying to survive this time period. Totally get it. It's easy to panic at a time like this. But how can you get out of your lizard brain, which is the one that's always focused on survival, and work out a way to use this time not only to safeguard your career, but to possibly move it forward? At the end of this video, I'll leave you with 3 strategies to position yourself optimally for whatever's coming next. For the best strategies to take your career to the next level, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you can be notified whenever I post new content every Tuesday. I'm Christina dellisanti-Miller, a Full Potential Realized, and I'm a career transition coach and digital course facilitator. I've helped hundreds of women to take their career to the next level beyond where they thought was possible. One thing I'd like to provide as context is the idea of framing this whole thing as an opportunity rather than a loss. So it reminds me of when I was working in aerospace in the early 90s, and the industry was collapsing, really condensing, and software engineers and all different kinds of engineers were getting laid off. And we gave this course across the company, a career development course. And one of the videos that they provided for us to show was this weird cartoon, but it was profound. I think about it still, especially at times like this. So here's how the story went. There was a village and they were right on the ocean, the group of people. When every season the storms came, the ocean came up and almost took away their homes, right? And so as a practice, all the village people went out and put sacrifices on the beach. They put sacrifices on the beach, all their valuable stuff, to pay homage to the ocean gods and to try to help them to keep the ocean at bay so that it wouldn't come up and take their houses. Meanwhile, by the light of the moon, an elderly woman who had seen this pattern year after year after year and knew that the ocean wasn't going to come up and necessarily take their houses and saw what was happening, went out when the ocean returned all the goodies that everybody had put out, and she collected all these valuables and brought them to her house. And by sensing the opportunity while everyone else was panicking, she enriched herself. So, well, I don't advocate taking other people's things. I think this is an interesting framing for how we think about crisis and how most of us react, trying to assuage, the storm gods, if you will, but putting it in a different framework provides different opportunities. So before we dive into my 3 strategies, I'm curious about your approach. What have you found is the best way to thrive during a crisis at work? If you would share your thoughts in the comments, you benefit all of us in this community. Okay, first strategy, pivot to address the opportunity, risk, or need that's most apparent now. You may have been going along and all of a sudden the world's upside down, and it's time to reconsider how you spend your time and energy and what is the most pressing problem that your skills and capabilities can be used to solve in your company. And it may be minimizing a risk. It might be providing a new product or service opportunity given the context of what's going on. It might be adapting how you deliver service or being innovative, to think of a new way to meet customers' needs. It could be connecting the dots between departments and making sure that everyone's aligned, right? So seeking out the pressing opportunities and needs and reevaluating how you've been approaching your work and thinking about what's the most important, meaningful impact you can make in the given moment is the first strategy. Second strategy is to be the easiest person on your team for your manager to manage. So this research around how to get promoted and taking your career to the next level is very relevant here, because I think it's the same strategy. That's something that came up in that research, and I think it's something to think about. So what does it look like to be the easiest person on your team to manage? First thing is, what are your boss's goals and how have they changed in this context? And what do you need to be delivering to best align and support with that person? So the thing to think about from your manager's perspective, what do they most need from you? So this is not the time to delegate up. It's not the time to come with problems and not solutions. It's not the time to require a lot of resources and support. It's the time to streamline the requests and requirements that you place on your manager and to really help them get done what they have to get done. Third strategy is to get things complete. And here's what I mean by that. Sometimes when things are really busy and things are chaotic, relationships get disrupted, things disconnect, and sometimes you're so busy that you kind of just leave that and hope that that will handle itself or it will be taken care of. So when I think about some of the things in my career that if I had a time machine, if I had the flux capacitor, I would go back and handle differently. It's moments like that where little things were out of whack and I was just like, okay, I'm going to deal with that later. And it never ended well. So to get things complete, to get things resolved, to make sure relationships are on track, that there's no meatballs hanging out there, no issues or disagreements or disconnects that have not been ironed out and repaired. Because that's the way to be the most powerful at a time like this, is to make sure that you've cleared the deck of any concern or issue, and that you're operating like, you know, a wheel with all the spokes intact as opposed to with a broken spoke. Yeah, so this is just a time to be really powerful with all your relationships. Make sure that you're all on the same page, and if anything is unresolved, that it's made explicit and addressed in a win-win manner. For additional strategies to future-proof your career and get the most out of the current moment, I'm offering my cheat sheet on positioning yourself as high-performing, high-potential, and promotable. Now, bear with me for a second. I think that these same tactics apply at a time like this. You just have to shift the context a little bit. So, for example, I have identified a trustworthy person I feel comfortable speaking to confidentially who can explain how the talent management, promotion, and leadership development processes work in my company. Okay, so now you're not going to be talking about leadership development and promotion, obviously, but that same person is a person who can give you insight on what's going on, what are the priorities, how have they shifted, what is the kind of talent that's needed now, what is the kind of attention and focus that will positively make a difference. So the same item reframed for this current moment, I think, is still valuable. Another example, I understand the process by which talent decisions are made. Okay, again, not talent decisions, but I understand the process by which we're figuring out how to align resources against the challenges. I understand what leaders are concerned about and what they're worried about, and I can position myself accordingly. One more. I have gleaned the attributes, behaviors, and experiences that are most valued by those assessing talent in this company. Right? So during a normal course of events, you want to understand that for the general talent and promotion process. But right now, you want to know, as things have changed and everything is shifted, what is their concern right now and what do they most value, and how can you position yourself and deliver that in a way that's aligned for both you and them in an authentic way. So you can grab that free cheat sheet at fullpotentialrealize.com/positioning. I'll put a link in the comments. Check out these next videos on how to take your career to the next level. And if you liked this video, please like it, share it, give it a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Thanks. I look forward to seeing you next time.